Kim Kardashian has had enough. This complete debacle of Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's making has made them even more toxic in Hollywood than they were before, and that is saying something. I'm going to take you through the briefing and the counter-briefing about what the Daily Mail is describing as the Sussexes' Photogate Snub.
So let's just start with the obvious. Kim Kardashian has absolutely had it, and somehow Prince Harry and Meghan Markle have managed to become even more disliked in Hollywood than they were last week, which honestly feels like an achievement at this point. And yes, we are talking about the new saga being called Photogate, because apparently the Sussexes have now annoyed the Kardashians, and that's when you know it's bad. You can ghost the royals, but you cannot ghost the Kardashians. The Daily Mail kicked this whole thing off with a story essentially saying that the Kardashians were fuming after Meghan and Harry demanded that they not be photographed inside Kris Jenner's 70th birthday bash.
Because that newspaper has learned that the Kardashian clan are upset after Harry and Meghan demanded not to be pictured inside Kris Jenner's 70th birthday, which was extraordinary, of course, because just a few moments earlier, they had been pictured inside the event for Serena Williams. The newspaper writes, People magazine, the Sussexes' preferred publication in the US, has claimed that Meghan and Harry asked that no photographs of them inside the James Bond-themed party were published. A source close to the Kardashian camp has said they are baffled, given the Sussexes were happy to be pictured inside the Baby to Baby gala hours before the party where they posed with friend Serena Williams. Another Mail source in LA has confirmed that Harry and Meghan are believed to have ticked no on a photo consent form before going to the ball thrown for Kris Jenner by Jeff Bezos and Lauren Sanchez. A California-based source told the Daily Mail today that Kim is fuming. Another expert said that Harry and Meghan have risked losing support from Hollywood A-listers that they need now more than ever. Kim was like, you've already been papped outside? And you were at the Baby to Baby event the same night being photographed like Meghan Trainor and Paris Hilton, so what's the problem? And they added, Kim is pissed off. And it's not a surprise, is it? Given that the Kardashians are the royal family of Hollywood. In fact, Rob Shooter has gone one step further, revealing that Kim Kardashian, after this debacle, has actually decided to cut off Meghan Markle altogether after what insiders are calling a total vibe clash at the birthday party. Sources close to the Kardashian camp say Kim was furious when Meghan's team requested that all pics of her and Harry be scrubbed from the internet. He reports a Hollywood insider saying Kim doesn't do take-backs. If you show up to a Kardashian production, you are part of the machine. Meghan tried to rewrite the narrative, and Kim hated that. The tension apparently started earlier in the night when Meghan politely but icily declined to film a simple greeting for the Kardashians on Hulu. Kim took it as a snub. She felt like Meghan acted like Buckingham Palace had arrived, and that goes down badly in Calabasas. Now insiders say Kim is done. Meghan made another Hollywood enemy, the friend confirms, and unlike royals, Kardashians don't forgive easily. As one LA publicist put it, you can ghost the royals, you cannot ghost the Kardashians. But I want to show you the other side of the argument because, of course, Harry and Meghan's team are desperately trying to dampen this down with a briefing to Tom Sykes of The Royalist explaining why their pictures were scrubbed. And he reveals that it was after a request was made by Harry and Meghan that the images of them at the party were not published. However, the truth, this is according to a source in Harry and Meghan's camp with direct knowledge of the arrangements, is actually A, that Harry and Meghan, along with other guests, were asked beforehand if they consented to images of them at the party being shared and had said no, despite perplexingly apparently allowing themselves to be photographed arriving. Photographic consent forms are now routine at high-octane gatherings, and the Sussex is fully in line with Hollywood etiquette circa 2025 tick no for inside shots. Someone on the Jenner social team missed the memo. The shots went live, a klaxon sounded somewhere, and down they came. He adds, I'm told Harry and Meghan were not particularly bothered by the photos being published, which is lucky, as they have now been saved by an army of Redditors. Turns out deleting a post of your hubby looking daft on the world's biggest digital megaphone produces the opposite of disappearance. The aged among us will know this as the Streisand effect.
Despite being photographed earlier that same night at Serena Williams' glitzy event and arriving in full view of paparazzi at the Kardashian party, they didn't want photos inside. Outside? Fine. Serena's event? Totally fine. But Kris Jenner's James Bond-themed extravaganza? Absolutely not. This is a problem. Harry trusted shady characters with long criminal histories, all tied to byline times. The same people who fed him false stories, the same people he used to launch personal attacks on critics, and the same people Lady C says could drag him into criminal territory if this turns into a perverting the course of justice situation. She's been reporting on this for months.
And more negative briefing about exactly how Meghan Markle was acting inside that party, with Page 6, previously an ally of the Sussexes, describing her as being in networking mode at the 70th birthday bash. They write, Meghan Markle mixed business with pleasure. She was definitely in networking mode, and insider told Page 6 she schmoozed with a lot of power players, describing the Duchess of Sussex as cool. Meanwhile, Buckingham Palace insiders have told the newspaper that the royal family was shocked at Markle and Harry's appearance at Jenner's bash. According to their sources, the attendance shows that Harry is so far removed from the rest of the family. So, what to make of this briefing and counter-briefing? Well, I am absolutely delighted to say that returning to Outspoken, still in her hospital bed, bless her, is the incredible Lady Colin Campbell. Lady C, before we get to this nonsense, how are you? You've had your operation, but you're still not back at Castle Goring.
Dan, I'm still breathing.
Thank God for that. So you've had the operation, right?
Yes, I had it. They repaired my acetibula and they have done whatever they needed to do to my hip. Sorry, pelvis, not hip, pelvis. And so I'm not in as much pain as I was before, but it's been quite an ordeal, I don't mind telling. And the pain is not exactly something to ignore, but let's just truck on as if it's not happening.
Well, I love this. I love this, Lady C. I've been watching your videos on your own channel, and I thought, gosh, only Lady C would be ploughing on from her hospital bed, and it's been brilliant to see. When are you expecting to be back at the castle?
I'm hoping next week.
Okay.
I'm hoping next week, because I'm really lucky, because on the family floor, which you're very familiar with,
yes,
there's a lift up to it, and everything is on the same floor. No steps, so it will be manageable, we hope.
I know, so, thank God you have that lift.
But then I can't walk for 6 months.
6 months.
So it's,
oh my God,
it's very painful. So
it is. Well, look, thank God that we've still got you, though, and that is the wonder of technology, isn't it? Because you're able to go forward. And I have been so desperate, Lady C, to talk to you about this debacle. I mean, the Daily Mail now, today, Lady C, calling this the Sussexes Photogate. And there's the briefing, but there's the counter-briefing too. So from the Kardashians' point of view, they're saying, well, what the hell? I mean, you went to Serena Williams' event earlier in the night. You allowed pictures to be published from there. You turned up and allowed the paparazzi to take pictures of you. Why are you saying we can't release your pictures? From Harry and Meghan's point of view, they're saying, well, we ticked the box. We ticked the box. We said that we didn't want the pictures released. What is really going on here, Lady C? What is the truth?
And her point is simple. If the statement was forged and Harry's team used it as evidence, and witnesses have already admitted they only joined the lawsuit because they believed the forged statement, then everyone involved is in deep legal trouble. We're talking about potential criminal charges, not just embarrassment. This entire Photogate scandal is a perfect symbolic chapter in the Sussex Hollywood saga. They wanted Kardashian clout, with royal reverence, without Kardashian cameras.
Well, I suspect, Dan, that both the Kardashians and Meghan and Harry are very adept at creating controversy and stirring the pot. And they know that nothing's going to create more controversy than a teensy-weensy falling out that assures everybody of getting what they want. So the Kardashians have got their photographs. Meghan is able to say that yet again she's been victimized because she ticked the box and blah, blah, blah. I don't know what you think, but I think that's what's going on. I think the whole thing is basically a set of opportunists, and one could almost say grifters, all functioning in tandem to make sure that each one of them gets what they want, but that they ultimately can actually pose as victim or being taken advantage of. Because, of course, if the Kardashians are taking advantage of Meghan and Harry, that ratifies their superior status. And it means that they're royalty, and that royalty is not supposed to be photographed at things, blah, blah, blah. I think the whole thing is a put-up job. What do you think?
Well, I think that Meghan definitely wanted the photos out there and then was able to say to Harry, oh, but I ticked the box. I ticked the box, H. So it's the terrible Kardashians who have done this. And I think Harry's mortification was partly because he saw the negative publicity in regards to those contrasting scenes, Lady C. I mean, it couldn't have been any more true royalty and Hollywood scum when you actually compared what they were doing on that Saturday night, you know, young Prince George sitting alongside his mother and King Charles to honour the war fallen at the Royal Albert Hall. And so the contrast was so great. Then when we finally saw the pictures of Harry inside Lady C, they were terrible images of him, right? So in one of the pictures, he's ogling Kris Jenner's boobs. Like, did you see that? I mean, it's mortifying. Yeah. And then he looked totally off his head in another one, Lady C.
Well, that I think is the thing. I think that it was, I think they most likely were embarrassed that Harry looked as if he was doing one of his more ayahuasca moments.
What on earth could you mean? He had a cold.
Well, or he was using marching powder to make sure that he blew his nostrils out so that his brains functioned properly and could get him from the low point to the high point as quickly as possible. He looked as if he was out of his mind. And I mean, well, that is really just a creepy shot, I would have thought. But I mean, don't you think it's a little bit creepy? And,
yeah, it's mortifying for him. It's mortifying for him because this is all about his downfall and about the fact that he never wanted to be here. And all of the optics were just so bad. And so I think Meghan was secretly happy the pictures are out there. I mean, we've known for a long time, Lady C, she has actually been desperate to be photographed with the Kardashians. And up until this point, it was actually the Kardashians who had been resisting her. Do you remember Kris agreed to have a picture with her mother, Doria, at an event a couple of years ago, but Meghan wasn't in the picture. So I do believe that Meghan wanted the pictures out there, but I think Harry saw them and freaked because he was also aware of how bad the headlines were in the United Kingdom at this point. But look, he just looked miserable to be there, didn't he? It was quite sad to watch the whole thing.
But I think he does look miserable when he's not looking as if, would somebody just give me a... And I'm not going to use the word.
There's a lot of legal highs in California, Lady C. I do always make that point. There are a lot of legal highs in that state.
But he looked as if he was begging Kris Jenner for a blowjob.
Well, Kris Jenner is looking good. Kris Jenner is looking good.
Listen, She looks a lot better and younger than his wife.
And she's 70.
Yeah.
But there was some
Yeah.
other fascinating insight, Lady C, from inside.
Likes them older.
While using Kardashian proximity to rebuild their image without looking like they wanted Kardashian proximity. It's a tangled, contradictory mess, just like everything surrounding their public life. Kim Kardashian may be many things, but she has one rule: you're either all I in or you don't come. Meghan wanted to be in the room, but not in the footage. She wanted the power, but not the exposure. The fame, but not the scrutiny.
Well, indeed.
Sorry, what's that?
Well, I was just going to say there was some more fascinating insight from inside the event from Rob Shooter. Let me just take you through this and then I'll get you to respond. He writes, privacy, not at a Kardashian party. Shooter Scoop has learned that Prince Harry and Meghan Markle were left horrified after realising Kris Jenner's 70th birthday bash was crawling with cameras, influencers and unfiltered footage all destined for Hulu. It's Meghan and Harry's worst nightmare come true. They thought it was going to be an elegant, private event. Instead, it was full-on Kardashian chaos. Cameras everywhere, boom mics and chandeliers, drones outside the mansion. Unlike traditional A-list events, no one was asked to hand over their phone. Guests filmed everything from Kim's champagne toast to Jeff Bezos' impromptu dance moves. And Kris collected all the best footage for an upcoming episode of The Kardashians. There were at least 3 professional camera crew rolling all night, says a source. Even the security team had GoPros. Meghan looked mortified. Harry tried to laugh it off, but you could tell he wanted out. The royal couple slipped away before midnight, just as the lights dimmed for a surprise performance. They came to network and got reality TV, the insider adds. But I mean, Lady C, what the hell were they expecting?
Well, this is why I say, Dan, I think the whole thing is a put-up job. Of course they knew what to expect. I mean, what do you expect if you are involved with the Kardashians? They knew exactly what to expect. They knew exactly what was going to happen. And anything to the contrary is a pretense and shows yet again how very adept Meghan is at turning opportunism into victimhood. I mean, she's the one who has targeted the Kardashians for years so that she would get to be a part of, at least occasionally, an event where she's with them in the inner circle. And now, all of a sudden, she's being victimized and she has something to complain about. She doesn't have anything to complain about. You know, you go to a party and if you're photographed, you're photographed. If you're not, you're not. I mean, all this nonsense about that royalty doesn't do this. You go to royal events, they have a rota photographer there. He's photographing the event. Not all royal events are photographed, but some are. And it's incumbent upon the guests to not look as if they're desperate for blowjobs and have just been sort of marching through Bogota, snorting all sorts of marching powder.
Yes, of course. Those legal highs. Can I just stress those legal highs in California? You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Of course, the other laughing stock of the internet, Lady C, and what's interesting about this, right, is that the people who they are now the laughing stock with are the folk, actually the sort of woke folk who originally were supporting them, but all over the internet, the fact that they can't handle a Kardashian party has turned them into a joke. And I just want to show you one hilarious example on TikTok, Lady C. Watch this.
Okay, stay calm. Stay regal. Wait for people to notice you. Just smile. Keep smiling. Scan the room. Look around mysteriously. Oh my goodness, aren't you? I know I've seen you somewhere. Your energy, it's so cinematic.
I'm the server.
Well then, server, I'll have a glass of champagne. Blend in, but also stand out. Mostly stand out. H, stay with me. We're looking for Jeff and Kris and the producers of the Bond franchise. If I could just speak to them about my range, they'll definitely consider casting me. So this is what it's like to mingle with the elite. Yes. Network my way into destiny. Ooh, what's going on over there? Come on, H. Can we just get in here?
Oh, it's so true, isn't it? Lady, you see, she's got it in one.
But the Kardashians don't operate like that. Hollywood doesn't operate like that. And now, they are being mocked by the very culture they were trying to infiltrate. Meanwhile, Harry's real-world legal drama is spiraling into something much darker than Photogate, and he seems either unaware or unwilling to face it. It's sad, it's messy, it's chaotic, it's cartoonish. And somehow it keeps getting worse every week. Let me know what you think about this video in the comment section. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any of my future uploads. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments.